Alrighty, this is a slideshow of a dig in 2012. One of my neighbors, about a half a block away, allowed me to dig in their yard. And what was interesting was, aside from the drooling, panting fur babies, it was in the middle of July, so there's their water jug, so they depleted that. What was interesting was, you can see this walkway they're sitting on, and this walkway here, and it was the first time I'd ever really paid much attention to walkways in backyards, and I realized after the dig, after the fact, I was just out here probing, and I probed this hole back here, and then I realized all the guys' stuff was in one side and the women's medicines were on the other side, and I realized, oh, this sidewalk, this walkway was singular back here, and it split off so that the guys went over here and the gals went over there. So I was like, oh, that's pretty interesting. So ever since then, that's one clue I look for. I always look for the old walkways in the backyards, because a lot of times it's like the yellow brick road leading you right to the Emerald City, or you know, whatever you want to call the privy. Yeah, if it's a Pownell pit, it's an Emerald City to me. So anyway, there is the hole started out, and I have my Arkansas toothpick, otherwise known as a spud bar. The ground, I remembered, was really super hard. But once I got down to this ashy area there, it softened up real quick. Good. Got ahead of myself. Dang it. Well, not much more to show there, except for the spud bar and a pile of dirt. This one's a Pond's extract. The one I'm going to show in the follow-up video didn't come from this pit. I dug up two of these things, a large size, I think this is the larger size, and then a smaller one. And the smaller one was actually applied top, and the larger one was slightly newer. And the one that I have kept over the years came from that Pownell pit that I showed a couple of weeks ago. Somehow it didn't make it into the video, and they're kind of interesting because they actually do come Pownelled, and the older ones don't say 1846 on the base, and or applied top at least. If not Pownelled, the bases are pretty crude. I'll go over that later, along with a couple of funny stories about this dig. So bear with me here. That's the same picture as before without the spud bars sticking up. So anyway, these were the first finds. I'd never dug a DeLacy's hair tonic before, or any other product. There's a scarcer version, I can't remember what it is. It's a DeLacy's something or other. Unfortunately, I dug up 6 or 7 of these guys, and none of them were different other than shades of amber. That was the taller, the bigger Pond's in situ picture. The teal-colored Wyeth began a color run for me. I had been wanting to dig a teal-colored one, but I hadn't found one yet until this dig. And a typical ground top Mason's 1858, no big whoop whoop. And this guy's in Boston, I can't remember what the heck it was, but again it wasn't any big whoop whoop. And a Hofbauer Brothers Hannibal Pharmacy. This is a later style top, but it was still a tool top. In the bag of T-bones, who can leave that out? Ah, no dog owner I know. Oh yeah, and this little gem here, the OD Chemical Company. You know, there's something just wrong about that name. Yeah, you know, we make chemicals. We're called OD. Bad choice. This is one of 2 shoe polish bottles that I dug up. The other one's not in the photo run for some reason other than the large overview. And I can't remember the name of the company. But it's real cool. It's got it's a nice funky tealish green color, light color. Hammer whittled. One that I had never heard of before. So I was happy to dig that. I still have that one. And there's the hole, all neatly replaced and covered. And for some reason I don't have the overview photos, so bear with me. I gotta hunt those down now. Yeah. Okay, well, back to the video here. That Hofbauer Pharmacy bottle has some real interesting embossing, you know, with a double ring, triple ring neck. That's really kind of 1910-ish. That's sort of the late tool top period. Hopefully we'll be back on track here. Yep, back in the hole. Yeah, I got some decent depth out of it. I think it went down about 8 foot. Pretty standard for Hannibal pits. And I dug up my first cobalt blue liquid bread beer bottle, and the beginning of the collection of DeLacy's hair tonics. This cobalt blue guy I still have. I think it held wafers of some sort, possibly for cleaning dentures, perhaps. And I got a real funny story. That's Calder's dentine jar there. So I have a funny theoretical story. And then this tall cylinder is from the Pillow Inhaler Company. And I forgot about that bottle. I had to Google it. It's no longer in my collection. Pretty interesting product there. It goes back to at least 1884. I found an ad for it that far back. And this house was built about that time, I think somewhere in the early mid-1880s. This is a wannabe Lion's bedbug bottle. I can't remember the initials on it, but it was real similar to a Lion's off-brand. And then a smattering of local pharmacy bottles here. But the best is yet to come here, at least in my opinion. That's not it. Although it does pose an interesting story. This bad boy here is a shoe polish bottle. Nice flared lip and a bulge here, and you know, I still have it, and I'll show it to you at the end of of an add-on video. It's pretty unusual. I've not seen another one. There's the 2 ponds that I dug up. That one's applied top and was pretty clean. But I have another one, like I mentioned, that is much more crude in the making, and I just kept swapping them out as I got cruder and cruder examples. Still don't have a ponnelled one, but hey, sometimes these early smooth bases are cruder than the ponnelled examples. All these are Hannibal Medicines, different pharmacies, and then There's my DeLacy's collection. What do I got? 7 of them there, I think. Yeah. And that kind of rounds out what a couple more commoner shoe polish bottles. They were into the shoe polish, that's for certain. And this green guy back here, I remember he had a big chip in the lip on the back side, but boy, it was a spectacular citron green color. Anyway, that one was a pretty fun dig, except it was brutally hot in July. You know, what else can you expect in July, right? And then we're back to where we've been already. So anyway, I will add on a video of what I still have remaining from this dig. Well, okay, these are, with the exception of the Pond's extract that, as I previously mentioned, came out of a Ponald era pit. And these are what are left of the dig that was prior to this video here. These big blue export style, that's what they call this kind of a lip, beer. The label read liquid bread, which I always thought was clever, since they use a ton of yeast in making beer. So I guess you get your daily quota of yeast if you drink liquid bread every day. Whatever. Beautiful bottle. The DeLacy's Hair Tonic. This one was the lightest of the 7 that I dug up, although it's also the most iridescent, and not in a good way. It's got that dull white. We used to call it sick glass. Sick as in not good. Opposite of what it means today, I guess. But and the only way you can really get rid of it is tumbling it, because it's most of the time you can see these wavy lines. That's mineralization etched into the glass, so you got to actually shave it out by tumbling. But it doesn't bother me, at least not on that bottle. The Pond's extract, as I mentioned, this one's probably 1860s. It's got some green striations in the neck, an applied top. You can feel the application, full of just tiny little bitty bubbles. No 1846 on the bottom, as you would expect. Those came much later, I think 1890s, maybe a little bit earlier, but never seen it on any of these earlier bottles. And it's really kind of hard to tell what's going on with this mold. One of the other things too I wanted to mention, these Pond's extract and other medicines are technically not strap-sided bottles. Whiskey flasks are strap-sided. These are union ovals. At least according to the bottle manufacturer's catalogs. And I guess they knew what they were talking about, because they're the ones who named them. So that's a union oval with the flat sides on it, not a strap side. Like the John Wyeth medicines and all the other ones like this. Unless it's a whiskey flask, it's a union oval. So get it right, people. Yeah, no, I don't care. Anyway, I just thought I'd throw that in there because I failed to highlight it in that particular video, and it deserves some highlighting. As common as Pond's extract bottles tend to be, these earlier ones are not. And in fact, I mean, in 60 years of digging, I haven't dug even a broken ponnelled one. And the FOHBC magazine had a beautiful article on the earliest ponds extract bottles, and I'll tell you what, it's on my hit list. I'd love to dig one. This guy, the other shoe polish bottle, I don't know what happened to it. Apparently I trimmed my collection deeper than I thought. On this funky part here, it says patent applied for, and then get this, press sponge here. So apparently, like the little furry ball at the end of the metal piece that dips into the most typical shoe polish bottles, this one had some sort of a similar sponge-like thing. But I'm not sure, were you supposed to press it on the inside or press it on the out? I mean, it'd be a mess if you press shoe polish there. Don't know. I'm guessing the inside. H.A. Bartlett and Company, embossing on the side, Philadelphia, and Bartlett's Dressing on the opposite side. Bartlett's Dressing. I've never seen one before, though I don't go to that many bottle shows, which is where I always see something different at a bottle show that I've never seen. So there's a plug for the bottle shows. Go to the bottle shows, you'll find something you've never seen before, and if you don't, you're not looking very hard. Anyway, coolest, well, one of the coolest, I dug up one that was cooler, in the shape of a Japanese samurai warrior, minus the very top. That's in an upcoming video, but as far as undamaged, normal kind of bottle, this thing was just way too cool. I mean, it's got like that big flared lip like a Bixby ink. With just that funky little area for the sponge, I guess. Okay. This bad boy I dug up, and I think it goes with the Calder's dentine and the dentures and the toothbrushes, but I can't be certain. I suspect it had wafers. I've seen similar things that were embossed, something wafers. I think it was almost like Alka-Seltzer for the to clean the false teeth. You know, like put it in a glass of water by the bed with your false teeth, and they're clean by morning. I'm just guessing that. I have really no other idea. I don't recall that it came out with specifically these items, but then again, these items didn't come out together either, and that's my next part that's funny. This was the first thing out of this grouping that I dug up, was Calder's dentine. And somewhere along the line I had the idea that Calder's dentine was like a poly grip for holding dentures in place. But I just double checked on it, and it was a toothpaste. I do remember it was half full, and what was left in it was hard as cement. It took me half a forever to literally chisel it out. And when I dug it up, I kind of knew what, I mean, I knew sort of what it was, and I was like, oh, that's cool. Hadn't dug one of these up. Set it up on the side. And then I kept digging, and this bad boy pops up. I mean, this thing looks like it's as new as the day it was made. I mean, there's no wear, no tear, no. I mean, better than the teeth I've got in my head right now, you know. And I'm thinking, oh, somebody was not happy. That had to be an expensive loss at the time, you know. And they probably just got sick, went out to the outhouse and erped it up. And I don't know how much you had to pay somebody to hike down into that outhouse hole to fish out of the poo your brand new teeth. But it's not like today where you just reach in the toilet and fish it out, you know. And then at the very bottom of the hole, I pulled out these toothbrushes, and so I pieced together a story based on the wrong assumption that Calder's dentine was a polygrip. And I thought, oh, okay, I get it. They lost their teeth, so they threw away the toothbrushes, didn't need those anymore. Got a nice set of chompers, got sick, puked them up, and they popped out of their head into the crapper. Went back in the house and grabbed this and went, well, this crap didn't work, and threw it in the hole. But I guess other than this crap didn't work was don't need this crap anymore because I ain't got no teeth to brush with. And this little mystery guy, I'm just kind of keeping him off to the side because I think he does belong there. But if anybody else has any ideas, hit me with them. Hit me with them. Yep. I'm always open to learn more. I mean, I just learned that that wasn't polygrip. It was toothpaste. Tooth powder. Dentifrice is what they called it. I guess that was a French term for toothpaste, which translated over here onto labels and things. So there you have it.